Singapore's commercial sex industry exists, but we do not concern ourselves with this underground trade unless we are forced to acknowledge it. Over the years, the government has been focused on policing the sex trade, but has any of us stopped to consider the welfares of this industry's most at-risk women? There are approximately 4,200 female sex workers in Singapore at any one time. From this number, about 800 to 1,000 of them are licensed sex workers. The remaining majority operates illegally. In a bid to evade the law, vice syndicates have not only gone online to advertise but have also started operating pop-up brothels. In 2019, more than 150 people were nabbed by police in an anti-vice operation. Yet, it was mostly the sex workers that were prosecuted instead of their agents. Recognizing that the sex workers, often because of their circumstances, lack access to justice, a community-based organisation, Project X, was founded to assist this marginalised group.
From the outreach that we do, we realize a lot of people don't know what their rights are. In 2019, we received 45 cases of abuse. So it's physical, sexual, financial, verbal violence against sex workers. So for us, it is very heartbreaking when we get a sex worker coming to us and say, oh, I've been assaulted. But after we talked to them, they decided that actually they don't want to report the case. This has happened so many times over the years, but it still remains heartbreaking, especially if the case has really strong evidence and we can really track down who the abuser is.
Years ago, when I started in this trade, I did get exploitation, abuse, such as clients did not wanted to pay me, and some of my friends, they get more worse experience than what I had, which is physically abused and would ask back the money that were given.
Some sex workers, they are afraid to go to the police for fear that they might get arrested or they might feel really uncomfortable to be in the presence of police. Sex workers are considered prohibited migrants, and there's also a charge on soliciting in public. So these are the things that actually stop sex workers from coming forward to report crimes against them.
So it begs the question, why are the sex workers victims of the laws that were meant to protect them? Ms. Zhi Ong called for conditional impunity for the exploited sex workers last year as a proactive measure to create a safe place for sex workers and give them access to justice.
Could the Minister please share with the House what is the number of pimps and vice abettors prosecuted in the last 3 years versus the number of sex workers arrested? Is increasing the present penalty of $10,000 to $100,000 sufficient in deterring these offences? The most intuitive and economic way is to enlist their victims. This makes the women under exploitative agents our most powerful ally.
Very similar to how we actually work with drug traffickers, protecting them through a certificate of cooperation, for them to come forward to whistleblow. I think there is a lot of merit to follow the same sort of approach when it comes to exposing exploitative agents. Given that I support Project X, they shared with me that, in fact, even just last year, 45 foreign sex workers actually came to them, and yet only 14 were reported to the police. So we can see that it's such a major leakage in terms of these exploitative agents being brought to justice. If we give immunity to one sex workers and be able to sort of prevent the exploitation of so many more of others by actually nabbing this one agent, I just feel that this is something we really should consider.
However, this conditional impunity for exploited sex workers has not been well received. In the public eye, you might ask, why should we provide protection for people operating outside of legal confines?
Some of the main challenges that we face as an organization is that a lot of people don't like that we are helping sex workers. A lot of people are like, oh, these people are illegal, they are immoral. The choices that sex workers make to enter the industry, that is shaped by a lot of socio-economic, cultural forces. We may not fully understand this. It's very hard to put yourself in somebody else's shoe, but try, right? Just try to think about what kind of circumstances would have led them into the industry and why you didn't end up in the industry like them. And I often boil it down to one word, which is opportunity. So I think it's important that we recognize that sex workers are equal human beings.